Hi everybody, my name is Eliza Bacot. I am the founder of the Organic South, a health and wellness business based here in the south of the United States, and I'm also a nurse practitioner. My experience is in critical care. I worked for 16 years in the intensive care unit, and I'm also a doTERRA wellness advocate. And I'm a big advocate for these wonderful essential oils that we all have access to help us with natural solutions for the topic that we're going to talk about today, which is head tension. So many of us experience head tension from time to time, especially when we're undergoing stressful situations and we have lots of things happening in our lives. There's many reasons that we can have head tension. One of the main reasons that it actually happens is because of stress in our lives. Something changes, a new event, or we have some sort of upset that happens in our life, or just the natural way that we go through life brings us stressful situations throughout the day. And we don't realize it oftentimes, but we tense the muscles of our face, we tense the muscles of our head and neck, and that actually contributes to head tension. There's plenty of other causes for head tension, and what I want to say up front is that it's very important, if you have head tension that is persistent and continues and is the same in nature, that you seek medical advice for that. We want to make sure that you get a professional opinion if you're having something that is habitual happening for you. But some other typical causes of head tension are also hormonal changes, sometimes foods that we eat, or alcohol consumption. Definitely sleep position can affect this. So if you're sleeping in the same way, or if you've got some kids sleeping in the bed with you, and you're in an awkward position, you can wake up with some head tension. And also repetitive movements. So if you love to play a certain sport, or if you do a certain type of exercise all the time, that can certainly contribute also to head and neck tension. So what we're going to talk about today, now that we've talked about the causes and some of the things that could be contributing to head tension, is how do we find a natural solution for that? So we're going to go through lots of things today, something that we have used in our family a lot. And currently I'm also a mom. I have two kids, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and I have a newborn baby. So there's been a lot of stress and head tension lately the last few weeks in our house as we've sort of adjusted to this new lifestyle that we have with a new child. So we're going to talk about a lot of different essential oil solutions that we can use for this. So let's just talk about my first right out of the gate favorite. That's the past tense blend by doTERRA. I love this blend so much because doTERRA makes it very easy for us. We don't have to do a lot of mixing of our favorite head tension oils. They've done it for us. And this is a wonderful blend of peppermint, wintergreen, basil, marjoram, frankincense, lime, lavender, and it's in a really easy roller bottle. So all you have to do is just take the cap off, and you see there's a roller bottle right there. And one of the ways that I love to use this, because head tension typically occurs right across here in the front of the forehead and down the back of the neck. So I love to just take the past tense and rub it along my forehead, and then I come behind the neck and rub it right back here behind my ear. And you'll notice a kind of cooling effect, and that comes from the peppermint. But then I just take my hands and my fingers and actually put some pressure into those pressure point areas. Oftentimes when you see people kind of doing this or putting pressure, they're actually trying to relieve stress, and they're not even realizing that they're doing it. So you can do this with the oils. A wonderful pressure point to also use is the temples right here and right in front of the ear, because many times the jaw and the tensing of the jaw is what's causing that head tension. So think about little areas that may feel tense to you and rub the past tense right into there. So that's my go-to blend. It's easy to carry around with you. It's just a very simple topical solution for that head tension. Now let's talk about a couple others, because sometimes I'll use the past tense, but I feel like I need a little something extra. And one of my favorite oils to add to the past tense blend is actually copaiba. Copaiba is amazing. It's helping relieve stress, helping relieve that tension in the muscles. And so actually what I'll do do is put a little bit of the past tense on my finger, and then I just open up the bottle of copaiba. It's so nice to actually smell it as you're opening it. That helps relieve stress too. And put a little drop on your finger where you've rubbed the past tense, and then just do the same thing. You're gonna rub it into the areas where you have pressure points, and definitely along the back of the neck. This is a very important muscle back here, the sternocleidomastoid muscle that connects the back of the head all the way down to the clavicle here. And that's a really typical one that we have trouble with, that causes head tension when that gets really tight and tense. So make sure and rub the oils back into there. Now, a couple others that I love to use is a little bit of lavender and rosemary together. So this can be an interesting combination because, and rosemary is in the past tense with lavender, but I love to combine these two together and add them to it if I need a little bit extra. Now, let's say you have a really intense situation going on and you feel like you didn't get enough relief with that. One of my next, what I call step up solutions, is to grab my deep blue rub. This is so wonderful for head and neck tension, especially that's caused by that musculoskeletal tension. And one of my favorite oils to add to this actually is the copaiba again, and lemongrass. So I just take a little pea-sized amount of the deep blue rub, put it in my hand, and then I put 2 drops of lemongrass and 2 drops of copaiba right there. And then I just kind of rub it around like this, and then rub it right into the back of my neck. I typically like to avoid the eyes when I'm using the deep blue rub because it is going to be a little bit more intense than that past tense blend, and it's going to give you a little bit stronger effect. But again, that's sort of a step up from the past tense blend and a couple of those other oils like rosemary and lavender that we were talking about that can help you if you need some extra relief. Okay, so let's talk about the next step up. I always tell people this is sort of when you're using oils, especially for problems like this, you want to start with sort of the first method, like the past tense and the deep blue. But then if you're still struggling and still feeling some of that residual head tension, I love to use something internally. Internally is a great way to get direct access to the body with those essential oils and have a very, very quick effect and a lasting effect. So I grab my copaiba soft gels. We've talked a lot about copaiba related to head tension, but these are super easy because they're already in a soft gel. So you don't have to make a veggie cap. It's already there, ready to go. And I actually love to combine this with a little bit of internal lavender too. That helps relieve the stress in the body, helps relax the body and soothe some of those muscles and soothe the nervous system. So let's say you've done all those topical approaches and you just still need a little extra relief. Don't be afraid to turn to your internal solutions. And for us here in my home, that's copaiba and lavender. And I can tell you this week I have been using a lot of this. In fact, today twice I've taken copaiba and lavender with the baby crying and the kids running around. It's just been really intense, and I could feel all that tension kind of coming up in my head and just creating almost like a vice-like feeling around my head, and it works so quickly. So that's amazing. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about, and don't forget, even though we're talking about this body solution related to head tension, don't forget about diffusing during this time, because so many times, in fact, the majority of times that we have head tension, it's caused from, again, stress and those tensing of those muscles in the head and neck. And so we just want to address diffusing too. So I actually love to grab that blend again of rosemary and lavender. This is a beautiful blend to diffuse for stress and for any sort of tension that you're feeling. So don't be afraid to diffuse also as you're applying topical, and if you have to step up into internal. It's a wonderful, wonderful route to kind of soothe the mood, help everything kind of relax, help the body chill out. And lastly, one of my favorite ones to diffuse, to kind of calm everything down and reduce some of my head tension and some of my stressful feelings is the Adaptive Blend by doTERRA. This one is just an incredible blend of lavender, magnolia, sweet gum, wild orange, so many beautiful floral and citrus oils in here that are wonderful, uplifting, and just help calm the atmosphere as you relax and kind of relieve that stress. All the muscles in your face and your head and your neck will kind of relax as well. So I hope my tips and the oils that we use in our home that have helped us so much have been beneficial to you today, and you gain some knowledge about how to use these products in your home. They have been an absolute game changer for us. We could not survive without them, and we need them just to get through the everyday stressors of life. So have a great day and take care.